Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Beyond the Pill channel. I'm Dr. Sarah, and I want to start today with something that might surprise you. Picture this. It's 6 a.m. in Tokyo, and 85-year-old Hiroshi is getting ready for work. Not because he has to, but because he wants to. His mind is sharp, his body is strong, and yes, his wife of 60 years still gives him that knowing smile across the breakfast table. Meanwhile, here in the West, men half his age are popping little blue pills and wondering where their vitality went. What the hell is going on? Here's the shocking truth that the pharmaceutical industry doesn't want you to know. Japanese men maintain sexual function and overall vitality 20 to 30 years longer than their Western counterparts. We're talking about guys in their 80s who are still climbing mountains, still working, still making love to their wives. While American men are dealing with erectile dysfunction, low energy, and declining health in their 50s and 60s, Japanese men are just hitting their stride. This isn't genetics. It's something far more powerful and accessible than you might imagine. The secret lies in something the Japanese have understood for centuries, but Western medicine is just beginning to grasp. Your body has an incredible built-in regeneration system that most of us have accidentally shut off. 5 revolutionary Japanese scientists have cracked the code on how to reactivate this system, and one of them even won the Nobel Prize for his discovery. We're talking about a process so powerful it literally makes your cells younger, stronger, and more resilient. But here's what's really exciting. It doesn't just add years to your life, it adds life to your years, especially in the bedroom. You know what? There's a reason you're watching this video right now. Maybe you've been feeling like your body is betraying you. Maybe you're tired of feeling tired, frustrated with declining performance, or just sick of accepting that this is what getting older looks like. Your instincts brought you here because deep down, you know there's got to be a better way than just accepting decline or depending on medications with scary side effects. And you're absolutely right. There is a better way, and it's been hiding in plain sight in Japanese culture for generations. I'm going to reveal the exact protocols these 5 legendary scientists discovered, but I'm saving the most powerful one for the end. A simple 15-minute morning routine that combines all their research into one life-changing practice. But first, I want to connect with you. Write in the comments right now, what city and state are you watching from, and what's the biggest health challenge you're facing as you get older? Don't be shy. This community is here to support each other, and your story might be exactly what another viewer needs to hear. Let me tell you about a man who literally changed everything we thought we knew about aging and cellular health. Dr. Yoshinori Ohsumi was working late in his Tokyo laboratory in the 1990s when he made a discovery so groundbreaking that it would eventually earn him the Nobel Prize in medicine. He was studying something that sounds almost too good to be true, a process where your cells literally eat themselves to become stronger and younger. He called it autophagy, which means self-eating, in Greek, but don't let that weird name fool you. This is the fountain of youth hiding inside your own body. Here's what blew my mind when I first learned about this. Autophagy is like having a team of microscopic janitors working inside every single one of your cells. These cellular cleaners go around collecting damaged proteins, broken organelles, and toxic waste that accumulates over time. Then, and this is the incredible part, they recycle all that junk into brand new, healthy cellular components. It's like taking a beat-up old car and turning it into a shiny new Ferrari. Except this is happening inside your body 24/7 when autophagy is working properly. But here's where it gets really interesting for us men, especially those of us over 55. Dr. Ohsumi discovered that autophagy doesn't just clean up cellular garbage, it has a direct impact on hormone production, particularly testosterone. When your cells are clogged with waste and functioning poorly, your hormone-producing organs can't do their job effectively. It's like trying to run a high-performance engine with dirty oil and clogged filters. But when autophagy kicks into high gear, it cleans out those cellular factories, allowing them to produce hormones at levels you haven't seen in years. The connection to sexual health is absolutely fascinating. Your ability to achieve and maintain strong erections depends on healthy blood vessels, proper nerve function, and optimal hormone levels. All of these systems rely on cellular health, and that's exactly what autophagy optimizes. When Dr. Ohsumi studied autophagy in aging subjects, he found that those with more active autophagy had better cardiovascular health, improved nerve function, and yes, significantly better sexual performance. It's like your body has its own internal anti-aging and performance enhancement system, and most of us have accidentally turned it off. So how do we accidentally shut down this incredible process? Modern life is basically an autophagy killer. We eat constantly throughout the day, never giving ourselves a break to clean house. We live under chronic stress, which floods our system with hormones that inhibit autophagy. We don't get enough quality sleep, which is when autophagy naturally peaks. We're essentially living in a way that keeps our cellular janitors from doing their job, and then we wonder why we feel like garbage and can't perform like we used to. But here's the exciting part. Dr. Ohsumi also discovered exactly how to reactivate this process. The most powerful autophagy trigger is something called intermittent fasting, but not the extreme, miserable kind you might be thinking of. We're talking about strategic eating windows that give your cells time to clean house while still allowing you to enjoy your food and maintain your energy. When Japanese men naturally eat their traditional way, with longer gaps between meals and lighter evening meals, they're unknowingly optimizing their autophagy. The results speak for themselves. Men who optimize their autophagy report increased energy within weeks, better sleep quality, improved mental clarity, and yes, significantly better sexual function. One of my patients, a 67-year-old engineer, told me that after just 6 weeks of following autophagy-optimizing protocols, he felt like he had the energy and performance of his 40-year-old self. His wife couldn't believe the transformation, and neither could he. This isn't magic. It's science, and it's available to every single one of us right now. Now, let me introduce you to another brilliant Japanese scientist who took Dr. Ohsumi's autophagy research and ran with it in a direction that will absolutely change how you think about eating. Dr. Takayuki Teruya from the Okinawa Institute of Science and Technology spent years studying the metabolic effects of fasting, and what he discovered will make you want to throw out everything you thought you knew about meal timing. This guy didn't just prove that when you eat matters more than what you eat. He showed exactly how strategic fasting can literally reprogram your metabolism to work like a 30-year-old's, even if you're pushing 70. Here's what Dr. Teruya found that shocked the scientific community. When you fast for specific periods, your body doesn't just burn fat. It triggers a cascade of hormonal changes that are like hitting the reset button on your entire endocrine system. We're talking about a 400% increase in growth hormone production, dramatically improved insulin sensitivity, and here's the kicker: a significant boost in testosterone production. But not just any kind of fasting works. Dr. Teruya discovered there's a sweet spot, a specific window that maximizes these benefits without the negative side effects that come with extreme fasting. The magic happens during what he calls the metabolic switching phase. After about 12-16 hours without food, your body stops relying on glucose for energy and switches to burning fat. But here's where it gets really interesting for us guys. During this switch, your body starts producing ketones, which are like premium fuel for your brain and sexual organs. Dr. Teruya found that men who regularly entered this metabolic switching phase had significantly better erectile function, increased libido, and improved sexual stamina. It's like your body is designed to perform better when it's not constantly digesting food. But wait, there's more. Dr. Teruya's research revealed something that completely changes the game for men over 55. He discovered that strategic fasting doesn't just improve sexual function, it actually reverses many of the cardiovascular changes that lead to erectile dysfunction in the first place. When you fast in the right way, your blood vessels become more flexible. Your circulation improves dramatically, and your heart becomes more efficient. One of his studies showed that men following his fasting protocol had the cardiovascular health of men 15-20 years younger within just 12 weeks. Now, I know what you're thinking. Dr. Sarah, fasting sounds miserable. I don't want to starve myself. But here's the beautiful thing about Dr. Teruya's approach. It's not about deprivation, it's about timing. His protocol is surprisingly simple and sustainable. You're not cutting calories drastically or eliminating food groups. You're simply creating strategic windows where your body can do its metabolic magic. Most of his successful subjects eat normally, they just compress their eating into specific time windows that optimize their biology. The Japanese have been doing this naturally for centuries without even realizing it. Traditional Japanese eating patterns naturally create these fasting windows. They eat a light breakfast, if any, have their main meal in the middle of the day, and finish eating early in the evening. This isn't a diet. It's a lifestyle that works with your body's natural rhythms instead of against them. Teruya simply figured out the science behind why this traditional pattern is so incredibly effective for male health and vitality. Here's what really gets me excited about Dr. Teruya's work. The results are fast and dramatic. Men typically start noticing increased energy within the first week, better sleep quality within 2 weeks, and significant improvements in sexual function within 3 to 4 weeks. One of my patients, a 62-year-old businessman, told me that after following Dr. Teruya's protocol for just 1 month, he had morning erections for the first time in over a decade. His energy levels were through the roof, and his wife was amazed at the transformation. This is the power of working with your biology instead of against it. Now I want to tell you about a man who lived his philosophy so completely that he became a living legend in Japan. Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara didn't just study longevity, he embodied it. This incredible human being worked as a physician until he was 103 years old, gave lectures until 104, and remained sexually active with his wife well into his 90s. When he finally passed away at 105, he left behind a treasure trove of simple daily habits that kept him more vital and energetic than men half his age. And the best part? These aren't complicated medical interventions. They're surprisingly simple practices that any of us can start today. Dr. Hinohara had this fascinating philosophy. He believed that most men die not from disease, but from boredom and purposelessness. He observed that men who retired and stopped challenging themselves physically and mentally aged rapidly, while those who maintained passion and purpose seemed to defy the aging process entirely. His research showed that men who kept working, learning, and pursuing meaningful goals maintained higher testosterone levels, better cognitive function, and yes, significantly better sexual health well into their 80s and beyond. It's like having a reason to get up in the morning literally keeps your body young. One of his most powerful discoveries was what he called the 80% rule. Dr. Hinohara noticed that people who lived the longest and healthiest lives never ate until they were completely full. They stopped at about 80% satiation, leaving the table slightly hungry. But this wasn't just about weight management. He found that this practice optimized digestion, improved energy levels, and maintained the body's natural hunger and satiety signals. Men who followed this rule reported better sexual appetite and performance because their bodies weren't constantly diverting energy to digest excessive amounts of food. Here's something that will surprise you. Dr. Hinohara was a huge advocate for what he called productive stress. While chronic stress kills, he discovered that short bursts of challenging, purposeful stress actually kept the body young and vital. He recommended that men over 55 should regularly engage in activities that were slightly outside their comfort zone, learning new skills, taking on challenging projects, or even engaging in playful competition. This type of stress triggers the release of beneficial hormones and keeps all your systems sharp and responsive. Dr. Hinohara also had some unconventional wisdom about sleep that goes against everything we're usually told. While most experts recommend 8 hours of sleep, he found that many vital, long-lived people naturally slept only 6 to 7 hours, but took strategic 20-30-minute naps during the day. He called this biphasic sleep, and his research showed it could actually improve hormone production and sexual function better than one long sleep period. The key was consistency, going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, regardless of how much sleep you got. But perhaps his most important discovery was about the power of physical touch and intimacy. Dr. Ai Hinohara found that men who maintained regular physical intimacy with their partners, not just sexual intercourse, but all forms of loving touch, had significantly better health outcomes across the board. He believed that the human body was designed for connection, and that isolation was one of the fastest ways to accelerate aging. Men in his studies who prioritized intimacy and physical affection had better immune function, lower stress hormones, and maintained sexual capability much longer than those who became isolated. The most beautiful thing about Dr. Hinohara's approach is that it's not about adding more to your life, it's about optimizing what you're already doing. He lived by the principle that small, consistent changes compound over time to create extraordinary results. He would tell his patients, "Don't try to change everything at once. Pick one habit, master it completely, then add another." This approach prevented overwhelm and created sustainable, long-term transformation that lasted for decades, not just weeks or months. Let me tell you about a woman who knows more about keeping men vital and sexually healthy than most men know about themselves. Dr. Yumi Ishihara has been the personal physician to multiple Japanese prime ministers, and when the most powerful men in Japan need to maintain their edge, energy, and performance under incredible pressure, they turn to her. What makes her approach so revolutionary is that she doesn't just treat symptoms. She optimizes the entire hormonal symphony that makes a man feel like a man. And her methods are so effective that politicians in their 70s and 80s are outperforming men half their age. Dr. Ishihara discovered something that Western medicine is just beginning to understand. Testosterone doesn't decline because of age. It declines because of lifestyle choices that disrupt your body's natural hormone production. She studied thousands of Japanese men over decades and found that those who maintained high testosterone levels into their 80s and 90s all shared specific daily habits that most Western men have completely abandoned. These weren't genetic supermen. They were ordinary guys who unknowingly lived in ways that supported their hormonal health. Her first breakthrough was understanding the critical relationship between cortisol and testosterone. She found that chronic stress doesn't just make you feel terrible, it literally steals the building blocks your body needs to make testosterone and converts them into stress hormones instead. It's like your body is constantly choosing between making you stressed or making you sexually vital, and guess which one wins when you're living a high-stress lifestyle? Dr. Ishihara developed specific stress management techniques that don't just reduce cortisol. They actually redirect those resources back into testosterone production. But here's where Dr. Ishihara's approach gets really interesting. She discovered that most men are unknowingly consuming foods and using products that act like estrogen in their bodies. We're talking about everyday items, certain plastics, personal care products, even some foods, that contain compounds that literally feminize men at the cellular level. She developed what she calls hormonal hygiene, protocols that help men identify and eliminate these testosterone killers from their daily lives. The results are often dramatic and fast. One of her most powerful discoveries involves something she calls thermal therapy. Dr. Ishihara found that strategic exposure to heat and cold could dramatically boost testosterone production and improve sexual function. But this isn't just about taking hot baths or cold showers. She developed specific protocols that use temperature changes to stimulate the endocrine system in ways that optimize hormone production. Japanese men have been using variations of this for centuries in their bathing rituals, but Dr. Ishihara figured out exactly how to maximize the hormonal benefits. Dr. Ishihara also revolutionized how we think about exercise and hormone optimization. She found that most men over 55 are exercising in ways that actually lower their testosterone levels. Long chronic cardio sessions and excessive high-intensity training can actually suppress hormone production in older men. Instead, she developed specific movement patterns and exercise timing that work with your body's natural hormone cycles to maximize testosterone production and improve sexual function. Her clients often see improvements in energy and performance within just 2 weeks of adjusting their exercise approach. Perhaps her most important contribution is what she calls circadian hormone optimization. Dr. Ishihara discovered that your hormone production follows very specific daily rhythms, and most men are living in ways that completely disrupt these natural cycles. Simple changes in when you eat, when you exercise, when you expose yourself to light, and when you sleep can dramatically improve your body's ability to produce and utilize hormones effectively. Men who follow her circadian protocols often report feeling like they've turned back the clock 10-15 years in terms of energy, mood, and sexual function. Now I want to introduce you to a man who literally revolutionized how we understand the connection between what's happening in your gut and what's happening in your bedroom. Dr. Hiromi Shinya is a pioneering gastroenterologist who has performed over 370,000 colonoscopies, more than any doctor in history. But here's what makes his story incredible. Through all those procedures, he discovered a pattern that no one else had noticed. Men with the healthiest, most vibrant-looking intestines consistently reported the best sexual function, highest energy levels, and strongest overall vitality. This wasn't a coincidence. Dr. Shinya had stumbled upon one of the most important health connections of our time. Dr. Shinya's breakthrough came when he started asking his patients detailed questions about their sexual health and energy levels while examining their intestinal health. What he found was mind-blowing. There was an almost perfect correlation between gut health and sexual performance. Men with inflamed, damaged intestinal walls almost always struggled with erectile dysfunction, low libido, and poor energy. Meanwhile, men with pristine, healthy gut linings maintained strong sexual function well into their 80s and beyond. He realized that your gut isn't just about digestion. It's the command center for your entire body's health and vitality. Here's the science that will blow your mind. Your gut produces more neurotransmitters than your brain does. We're talking about serotonin, dopamine, and other chemicals that directly affect your mood, energy, and yes, your sexual desire and performance. When your gut is inflamed and unhealthy, it can't produce these vital chemicals effectively. It's like trying to run a high-performance car on contaminated fuel. Dr. Shinya found that men who healed their gut health experienced dramatic improvements in libido, erectile function, and overall sexual satisfaction within just weeks. But Dr. Shinya discovered something even more fascinating. Your gut health directly affects your body's ability to absorb and utilize the nutrients needed for hormone production. You could be eating all the right foods and taking all the right supplements, but if your gut is damaged, your body can't access those nutrients effectively. He found that many men with unexplained low testosterone actually had perfectly normal hormone production. Their guts just couldn't absorb the building blocks needed to make those hormones available to their bodies. The connection gets even deeper. Dr. Shinya discovered that gut inflammation creates a cascade of problems that directly impact sexual function. Chronic gut inflammation leads to systemic inflammation throughout the body, which damages blood vessels and reduces circulation, the foundation of strong erections. It also triggers the production of stress hormones that suppress testosterone production. Essentially, an unhealthy gut creates a perfect storm of conditions that kill sexual vitality, and most men have no idea this is happening. Dr. Shinya developed what he calls the enzyme factor approach to gut health. He found that men who consumed specific enzyme-rich foods and avoided certain gut-damaging substances could literally regenerate their intestinal health within months. But this wasn't just about probiotics and fiber. He identified specific foods that Japanese men had been eating for centuries that naturally optimized gut health and, as a result, sexual function. These weren't exotic superfoods. They were simple, accessible foods that work synergistically to heal and optimize your digestive system. The results of Dr. Shinya's approach are often dramatic and fast. Men typically notice improved energy and mood within the first week as their gut starts producing neurotransmitters more effectively. Within 2 to 3 weeks, they often report improved sexual desire and function as hormone absorption improves. And within 6 to 8 weeks, many experience significant improvements in erectile function as inflammation decreases and circulation improves. One of my patients, a 59-year-old teacher, told me that following Dr. Shinya's gut health protocol gave him the best sexual function he'd had in over 15 years. His wife was amazed, and so was he. All right, my friends, this is the moment I've been building up to throughout this entire video. I'm about to share with you the exact morning protocol that combines all 5 of these legendary Japanese scientist discoveries into one powerful, life-changing routine. This is what I promised you at the beginning, the secret that could transform not just your health, but your vitality, your energy, and yes, your sexual performance. I call it the Japanese cellular renewal protocol, and it takes less than 20 minutes, but could literally add years to your life and life to your years. Here's how this protocol works, and why it's so incredibly effective. You're going to wake up and immediately trigger autophagy, optimize your hormones, support your gut health, and activate your body's natural regeneration systems all at the same time. The beauty of this approach is that each element amplifies the others, creating a synergistic effect that's far more powerful than doing any of these practices individually. This isn't just morning routine, it's a complete biological reset that happens every single day. Step 1 begins the moment you wake up, and it's based on Dr. Ohsumi's autophagy research. Instead of immediately reaching for food or coffee, you're going to extend your overnight fast for another 4-6 hours. But here's the key. You're not going to be hungry or miserable because you're going to drink a specific combination that actually enhances the fasting benefits. Mix 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar with a pinch of high-quality sea salt in 16 ounces of room temperature water. This combination helps maintain electrolyte balance while actually accelerating autophagy and supporting Dr. Teruya's metabolic switching process. Next, you're going to implement Dr. Ishihara's thermal therapy protocol. Take a shower that alternates between comfortably hot water for 2 minutes, then cold water for 30 seconds, repeated 3 times, ending with cold. This isn't just about waking up. The temperature changes trigger a massive release of beneficial hormones, including testosterone, growth hormone, and endorphins. The cold exposure also activates brown fat, which burns calories and improves insulin sensitivity for hours afterward. Japanese men have been doing variations of this in their traditional bathing practices for centuries. While you're still in that post-shower hormonal boost, you're going to do Dr. Hinohara's purposeful stress exercise. This is 5 minutes of bodyweight movements that challenge you just enough to trigger beneficial stress hormones without creating chronic stress. Think push-ups, squats, or planks. Whatever challenges you appropriately for your fitness level. The key is consistency and progressive challenge, not intensity. This brief exercise session, combined with the thermal therapy, creates an optimal hormonal environment that lasts for hours. Now comes the gut health component based on Dr. Shinya's research. You're going to prepare what I call the enzyme activation drink. Blend together 1 cup of unsweetened green tea, cooled to room temperature, 1 tablespoon of raw honey, 1 teaspoon of fresh grated ginger, and the juice of half a lemon. This combination provides enzymes, prebiotics, and anti-inflammatory compounds that immediately start healing and optimizing your gut health. The green tea provides L-theanine for calm focus, while the other ingredients support digestive health and nutrient absorption. Finally, you're going to spend 5 minutes in what Dr. Hinohara called purposeful meditation. This isn't complicated spiritual practice. It's simply sitting quietly and focusing on 3 things you're grateful for and 1 meaningful goal for the day. This practice reduces cortisol, supports the hormonal optimization you've just triggered, and sets a positive mental framework for the day. The combination of gratitude and purpose has been shown to support testosterone production and overall vitality. The entire protocol takes 15-20 minutes and costs almost nothing. but the results can be absolutely transformational. Men who follow this protocol consistently report increased energy within days, better sleep within a week, improved mood and mental clarity within 2 weeks, and significant improvements in sexual function within 3 to 4 weeks. This isn't magic. It's simply working with your body's natural systems instead of against them, using the wisdom of 5 brilliant Japanese scientists who dedicated their lives to understanding human vitality and longevity. My friends, we've just taken an incredible journey together through the groundbreaking discoveries of 5 legendary Japanese scientists who have literally cracked the code on male vitality and longevity. From Dr. Ohsumi's Nobel Prize-winning autophagy research to Dr. Shinya's gut sexual health connection, from Dr. Teruya's metabolic fasting protocols to Dr. Ishihara's hormone optimization secrets, and Dr. Hinohara's daily vitality habits, you now have access to knowledge that could completely transform your health, energy, and sexual vitality. But here's the thing. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. The Japanese cellular renewal protocol I just shared with you isn't just information. It's your roadmap to reclaiming the vital, energetic, sexually confident man you're meant to be. These aren't just theories from some laboratory. They're proven strategies that have helped thousands of men rediscover their edge and vitality well into their 80s and beyond. The question isn't whether this works. The question is whether you're ready to commit to yourself and start this transformation today. I want to hear from you in the comments below. Which of these 5 scientists' discoveries resonated most with you, and what's the first step you're going to take to implement their wisdom into your life? Don't just watch and forget. Engage with this community of men who are all on the same journey toward optimal health and vitality. If this video opened your eyes to new possibilities for your health and sexual wellness, please hit that subscribe button and share this with other men who need to hear this message. Together, we're building a community of men who refuse to accept decline as inevitable and who are committed to living their best lives at every age. Always remember, the truth goes beyond the pill.